Hey guys, so yesterday, I think it was yesterday, it was either yesterday or the day before, I was watching an episode of Law and Order SVU, and the topics that were covered in the episode really got me thinking, and it's partially because I'm kind of going through the same situation right now, and I think that this episode really showed like what a lot of people are going through due to COVID. And so if you are somebody who really likes um, or just likes to watch Law and Order SVU, the episode that I'm talking about is one where it's not really like a sexual um, episode, if that makes sense. It's covering a restaurant owner who is friends with Olivia, and basically because of COVID, she hasn't been able to open her restaurant and get the business like she was before. And I think they said she'd either been there for 20 years or 30 years, something like that. Well, the real estate agent that has the loan for her restaurant that I don't know if it was a mortgage or a rental, but either way, the real estate agent called her and basically told her that he couldn't give her any more of an extension on the loan for her restaurant. And so she gets really upset. She takes a gun. She's basically holding this real estate agent hostage. And it's all because she doesn't want to lose this restaurant that she has worked so hard for. And because of the pandemic, she's basically losing everything. Um, in the beginning of the episode, her husband also went to take care of, I think it was his father. And then on a video call later, they show him basically telling his wife that he's not going to come back because they were having issues before the pandemic. And so he thinks it's a better idea for him to stay away. Well, it got me thinking, like, obviously we are in right now currently a very similar situation, and I have felt kind of trapped and, not really able to have very many options when it comes to what I can do, where I can go, or how I can get myself out of this situation. Because, as you guys know, we are currently in an eviction situation ourselves. So, um, it got me thinking, like, how many people are truly affected in this way? Like, how many people are currently going through foreclosures on their mortgage, evictions from their rentals, um, you know, how many people are going through this because of a pandemic? And then it also brings me to the fact that when you get evicted, an eviction stays on your record. And I personally feel like people who have been evicted because of this pandemic affecting their income, their ability to work, because when people were locked down, a lot of people couldn't work throughout that. But you are still accruing bills and rent, and a lot of people aren't able to pull themselves back up out of that hole. So they either get evicted, or now all of a sudden, when this eviction moratorium does end, because eventually it will, um, they're going to owe thousands of dollars. And a lot of people are still looking for work. They're still trying to come back from all of the financial hardships that COVID has caused. And so I personally feel like anybody that has been evicted during this pandemic, those evictions, I feel like should not go on their record. I feel like people who have gotten vehicles repossessed or foreclosures on their homes because they couldn't afford to pay their mortgages because of COVID, I feel like those things should not be held against people. And you may disagree with me, but from the viewpoint of someone like myself who has been going through this on a very personal level, obviously I'm at stake of losing everything myself. I personally feel like it sucks that the whole world is going through this global pandemic and a lot of these issues are out of our control. Now, before the pandemic, it was very, very simple for me to get a job. Now, I have to be a little bit more choosy because with the pandemic, my health has also gotten a little bit worse during the time that I've been off work. So I have to be a little bit more picky about what jobs I accept. So I am interviewing for about the same number of jobs as I had in the past. Like, it's pretty simple to get an interview, but for me, like, I have to be careful on what jobs I accept, if that makes sense. So it's been a little bit rough trying to get back on my feet, get a job that I can physically handle. And that's why I'm trying to steer away from CNA work and towards medical assisting work. Because obviously, even though I'm a medical assistant, I still have my phlebotomy certification and I still have my CNA certification. All of my certifications are active. Um, so it's just like, it would be a lot easier for me to get a CNA job, but I'm not trying to go in that direction. So it's been difficult for us to pull ourselves up out of this situation. And that's why this eviction situation has been going on for as long as it has. Because at this point, the day that I'm filming this is April 24th. And we have been going through this since the end of January, beginning of February. So it's been a while. Thankfully, the court has been willing to work with us and give us time to try to fix the situation, try to figure out how to get back on our feet and everything, giving us time to apply for assistance programs and things of that sort. But that episode just got me thinking, like, how many hundreds of thousands of people across the United States alone are probably in this same predicament as we are, looking for, how do I fix this? How can I keep my home? How can I keep my business? Like, it's heartbreaking to think of how many people are going to be homeless. We already had a homelessness crisis in this country, and there's hundreds of thousands of people who are on the brink of getting evicted because if they can't get work or they don't have enough money to rectify their situation, then they could lose everything. And once this eviction moratorium ends, people are still going to owe the back rent and the back whatever on their other bills that may have been like giving them forgiveness or extra time to pay. And so I just worry for America as a country and the world because I just feel like, you know, how bad is this going to get? Because there's a lot of people who are going to just be pushed out of their homes. There's going to be kids who are homeless on the street because their mom, if they're a single parent, they might have an even worse time trying to figure out how to pull everything back up. And then you have, like, I was watching another video on YouTube yesterday or the day before on the reel, and they were talking about an Ohio mother who, she's a single mother. She left her kids at home for a short shift at a restaurant. I think it was like 6 hours long or something. And she got arrested because her kids were left home while she was going to work. And she had someone, I guess, who was supposed to be looking in on the kids like every hour to make sure that they were okay while the mom was gone. But she got arrested anyway because they said it was child endangerment, even though Ohio doesn't have a law for like the age that a child can be left home alone. And I don't remember what the ages are of the children that she left at home, but it just sucks because I'm sure there's a lot of parents who, like, their kids are doing e-learning or they're stuck at home, but the parent needs to go to work so that they can provide food for the kids. It's just a big trap, and it's a big cycle that I think is going to cause a lot more problems as we go along. And hopefully, we're able to come up with some solutions for this. Like I said, I don't think these types of things right now, because of a global pandemic, I don't think these things should be held against the people that don't have any other options. Like, we are trying our best. My husband and I have been going to hiring events. Like I told you, I think it was in a video I made yesterday. I told you guys that I have 3 interviews set up already for next week, possibly 4. And, they could say yes, they could say no. And if they say no, then it's back to the drawing board and I just have to keep applying for jobs. I apply for jobs every day. I go through Indeed and I look and I look and I look and I apply for basically everything. I've applied for fast food all the way to like warehouse jobs. So, it is what it is. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. What do you think? Do you think that evictions and foreclosures and repossessions and stuff like that should be held against people who lose these things because of financial issues from the pandemic? Or do you think that those things should be forgiven because of what we just went through as a country and as a world, basically? Because pretty much in every country, people are going through these same things right now and trying to pull themselves back up out of this horrible sinkhole that we have found ourselves in because of COVID and the financial ramifications of lockdowns and sickness and all of that stuff. So, what do you think? Please share your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say, and I will talk to you guys again in my next video.